Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Shelf Control. I'm Shannon. I'm bringing to you tonight 4 books that I won from Goodreads giveaways that have recently arrived in my mail. So this is my little book mail book haul video that I'm excited to be bringing to you tonight. Let's get started and find out what these books are. So the first book I want to talk about is Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. I love the cover here. This woman just looks absolutely fierce to me. This is going to be published in April 4th of 2023. It's by Atria Books, and it's 304 pages. So not very thick, but, not too small either. Camp Zero. And let me tell you a little bit about that one. So the synopsis says, in a near future northern settlement, a handful of climate change survivors find their fates intertwined in this mesmerizing and transportive novel in the vein of Station 11 and The Power. In the far north of Canada sits Camp Zero, an American building project hiding many secrets. Desperate to help her climate-displaced Korean immigrant mother, Rose agrees to travel to Camp Zero and spy on its architect in exchange for housing. She arrives at the same time as another newcomer, a college professor named Grant, who is determined to flee his wealthy family's dark legacy. Gradually, they realize that there is more to the architect than previously thought, and a disturbing mystery lurks beneath the surface of the camp. At the same time, rumors abound of an elite group of women soldiers living and working at a nearby Cold War-era climate research station. What are they doing there? And who is leading them? An electrifying page-turner where nothing is as it seems, Camp Zero cleverly explores how the intersection of gender, class, and migration will impact who and what will survive in a warming world. So again, we're back to the ecological situation. There were a couple of books we talked about last week that touched on eco-terrorism. This has, it says Notes of Station 11 in it, which I loved. We talked about an Emily St. John Mandel book on one of my videos a couple of weeks ago. I don't know The Power, so I'm interested to find out what that one is about. But we have a displaced Korean immigrant mother. We have a settlement of women, a group of women soldiers working at a nearby Cold War-era climate research station. So very interested in that. And also the fact that they describe this as exploring the intersection of gender, class, and migration. So very interesting, very grateful to Goodreads giveaways for making that available to me and ready to dig in. The next book that I have to talk about is called Wildflower, a memoir by Aurora James. Now, before I received this book, I had never heard of Aurora James. I'll be completely honest. And as I read the synopsis, you'll learn more about her if you're not familiar with Aurora James. But the cover really got my attention. She's beautiful, and she has this flower etched on her face and a gorgeous dress with these roses on the sleeves. So I was very intrigued, which is why I applied to win the book. So let's learn a little bit more about that one. Wildflower is going to be published May 9th, 2023 by Crown Publishing Group, and it's 304 pages. And here's a little bit about it. This extraordinary memoir of struggle and perseverance offers new ways of envisioning economic equality for everyone, from a leading activist and fashion pioneer. Aurora James's story is not a success story, or at least it shouldn't be told that way. Having dropped out of high school, struggled with body image, and dabbled in street racing, her eventual arrest might have been her rock bottom. But as a visionary and optimist, that experience became one of many that reshaped her way of thinking about the world. After a brief modeling stint, James discovered the real power in creating for the runway and started her own business in a flea market, a sustainable fashion line showcasing traditional African design that would become an award-winning international brand. Then she founded one of the fastest growing social justice nonprofits, the 15% Pledge. But none of this came from a desire to succeed. It came from a desire to forge a new creative path and to lift others up alongside her. Already a rising star in fashion and the first Black American female designer to win a CFDA award, James was inspired by the activism that swept the nation in the summer of 2020 to think bigger about how to empower Black business owners. With an idea and an Instagram post, she founded the 15% Pledge, which challenges retailers to commit 15% of their shelf space and spending power to Black businesses. To date, more than 24 of the world's most recognized retailers have taken the pledge, redirecting $10 billion in revenue to Black brands. Empowering and full of heart, Wildflower is the story of how Aurora James got to where she is now, and a rallying cry for those eager to make change. So I am always intrigued by activism and really curious about Aurora James' story. You can see her again here on the cover. Again, this is coming out in May, so you won't be able to get it quite yet unless you can get it through a Goodreads giveaway or on NetGalley. I would recommend that you try one of those two ways. But apparently a prominent activist and fashion designer who has had quite the impact on the retail world. So I am more than interested in finding out what her story is. You can hear me just flinging the books as I move on to the next one. They're just going right on the chair here. It's okay. So the next one I have is called Last Chance Dance by Lakita Wilson. This is YA, came to me in hardcover, and I want to tell you a little bit more about it. So it will be published, it was actually published yesterday, February 21st, 2023, and I just received it today. Published by Viking Books for Young Readers, and it's 336 pages. Last Chance Dance by Lakita Wilson. So let's find out what this one's about. An utterly charming YA romance, perfect for fans of Elise Bryant and Leah Johnson. Layla is devastated when her high school boyfriend breaks up with her right before graduation. But when she gets paired with 4 unrequited crushes in the lead up to her school's annual Last Chance Dance, she might just fall in love with someone new. Layla is crushed when Dev, her boyfriend of 4 years, breaks up with her right before graduation. Just when she's thinking she wasted her entire high school experience on a dead-end relationship, her best friend Bree reminds her that Last Chance Dance is just around the corner. A high school tradition, Last Chance Dance gives all the students one last opportunity to find love before they graduate. All Layla has to do is submit 3 unrequited crushes to the dance committee, and if any of her crushes list her too, they'll get matched. Presto, new relationship, just like that. To her utter amazement, Layla is matched with all 3 of her choices, and with someone she never ever expected. Trey Hillman, her chemistry partner and low-key nemesis. Though at times skeptical, Layla embarks on her Last Chance Dance mission, trying out her matches and going on dates. If Dev wasn't her true love, then maybe someone else is. She knows it's definitely not Trey, even though he seems more and more determined to convince her he's right for her. But thoughts of Dev keep sneaking back into her mind, and as graduation and the dance approaches, Layla must figure out what and who she really wants. It's her last chance, right? So that sounds really cute. I can't imagine having a last chance dance in high school and having to pick out 3 crushes anonymously and see if we got matched up. I also can't imagine getting matched with all 3 of them and then having to make a choice. But it sounds like something a high school would do, right? The student council or something putting together a last chance dance. And it's an interesting plot. It definitely gets my attention from a romance novel perspective, and definitely from the YA perspective. I am not opposed to YA books at all. Some of my favorite books have been YA. Some of them have been YA and I didn't realize they were YA until after I had finished them, and had already fallen in love with them. So that is Last Chance Dance by Lakita Wilson, YA romance. And the last one that I received from Goodreads giveaways this week is Our Place on the Island. And this is by Erica Montgomery. You can see there's a little house there on a sort of a cliff or a hillside, a beach, and a couple of folks down there walking on the beach. So It says, "A family wedding, a love story come to light, and one summer of memories." Our Place on the Island by Erica Montgomery. This one will come out June 13th of 2023, so we are a little bit ahead on this one. By St. Martin's Griffin. It's 320 pages. So let's talk a little bit about this one. For decades, the Campbell women have reunited at the family's rambling seaside cottage known as Beach House to celebrate life's many occasions. But this year, they will be called back to Martha's Vineyard for a celebration of a different sort. Their beloved matriarch Cora is getting remarried, and all the town gossips are calling him the one who got away years ago. For renowned chef Mickey Campbell, this wedding isn't just a welcome excuse to return to the place she first learned to cook at her grandmother's side. It's also a chance to regroup while she figures out a way to tell her smoldering head chef boyfriend that she's mismanaged their restaurant into the red. Mickey's mother, Hetty, is still mourning the passing of her adored father 3 years earlier, and she isn't sure she's ready to welcome a new man into the fold. And she's not certain her own thorny relationship with her mother will weather the storm of her upcoming marriage. But everyone knows a woman's heart holds more than meets the eye. For Cora, drawing her daughter and granddaughter back to Beach House isn't just about ceremony, but a chance to reveal a history she has kept close to her heart for decades. As the days leading up to the wedding unfold, secrets of Cora's past come to light. A secret that will cause 3 generations of Campbell women to question marriage, motherhood, and ultimately learn to savor the delicious joy of following your own heart. Told in dual timelines on the sumptuous beaches of Martha's Vineyard, Our Place on the Island is the sparkling, romantic read of the season. So this will be a nice summer beach book coming out in June. Set on Martha's Vineyard. Again, 3 generations of women, which is a scene stealer for me. I hope it is for you as well. But this seems like it veers more toward the romance book, but maybe a little more serious than a light romance read. So we shall see. There are some secrets here that we're going to find out about, and that always keeps my attention. So those are 4 books that are coming out very soon that I received on Goodreads giveaways that I wanted to let you know about. So you can get them on your radar, can go ahead and reserve them from your local library, or keep an eye out and get ready to purchase them when they hit the bookshelves, or pre-order them. You know, I know we're always doing good work for the author when we pre-order. That really helps them get their book out there, and it helps with the ordering volumes and getting them some attention from their publisher. So I'm always happy to do that when I'm interested in a book. I hope you enjoyed hearing about these books tonight. I am also going to be, for March, working on the Tournament of Books. So I will be making videos every day or couple of days about the Tournament of Books. If you're not familiar with the Tournament of Books, it's very much like the NCAA March Madness grid or bracket. That's what they call it. The NCAA March Madness bracket, and they pit books against each other. There's actually a vote-in section where some books that are not actually part of the bracket get voted on ahead of time to be put back into the bracket. And then there's the regular 64 books, just like 64 teams. And it comes down to a Sweet 16, an Elite 8, your Final 4, and then the book of the year is picked. So I'm going to be keeping up with that and making videos about it so that you can stay on top of it and see what these books are that are being voted on and how they fare against each other in the tournament. So I hope you'll enjoy that. I hope you'll come back to see it. If you enjoyed this tonight, please smash that subscribe button and the like button so that I can keep coming back and making videos for you. It's a lot of fun for me, and I hope you really enjoy it. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.